Panic is the destroyer of potential. It clouds judgment, accelerates mistakes, and turns small challenges into mountains. When panic takes over, logic disappears and emotion drives every decision. Emma, in her moment of fear, didn't pause to think. She reacted. Surrounded by judgmental smiles and social pressure, she panicked and created a lie that spiraled out of control. This is what panic does to all of us. It convinces us that we must act immediately, that survival depends on instant reaction. But in reality, panic only magnifies the damage. It's the silent thief of clarity, stealing the power we have to control our destiny. Confidence, on the other hand, is power under pressure. It doesn't mean you never feel fear. It means you manage it. Confidence gives you space between what happens and how you respond. It's the moment you breathe instead of breaking. When you stay calm, you see solutions others miss. You think instead of tremble. You move forward instead of freeze. That's what separates leaders from followers, winners from warriors. The confident mind looks at the same storm as everyone else, but chooses to sail through it instead of drown beneath it. Emma's story is every person's story. We've all faced those moments when eyes are watching, expectations are high, and judgment is close. In that split second, your reaction defines everything. Emma could have owned her truth. She could have smiled and said, "I'm not married, but I'm fulfilled." Instead, fear whispered that she wasn't enough, and she listened. Her panic wrote a script of lies that she had to keep performing. That's what panic does. It forces you to live in survival mode, pretending everything's fine while you're barely holding it together. Confidence, though, writes a different script. It says, "I may not have what you expect, but I have what I need. Me." Confidence is not arrogance. It's assurance. It's quiet strength that doesn't need validation. The confident person walks into any room, not trying to impress, but ready to express. Confidence controls energy. It slows your heartbeat, steadies your hands, and focuses your mind. It's built through preparation, discipline, and self-belief. The more you train yourself to stay calm under chaos, the more control you gain over life. You can't stop the storm, but you can stop yourself from sinking. Confidence isn't born. It's built through every decision to stay composed when panic calls your name. So, the next time life puts you under pressure, remember Emma's mistake and learn from it. Don't let panic turn small issues into permanent damage. Don't let fear dictate your story. Pause, breathe, choose composure, because the person who controls their emotions controls the outcome. Confidence is not about pretending you're fearless. It's about standing tall even when your heart is racing. Panic creates chaos, but confidence creates control. And in that control lies the calm, the clarity, and the power to turn any situation, even your biggest mistake, into your greatest comeback. Real connection begins where pretending ends. You can't build something genuine on a foundation of falsehood. Pretending might get you temporary acceptance, but it will never give you lasting connection. In the story, Emma and Ryan's bond began as a lie, a desperate attempt to survive social judgment. But somewhere in the chaos, something unexpected happened. Truth slipped through the cracks of their pretending. The more they dropped the mask, the more real they became to each other. That's the paradox of human connection. When you stop trying to look perfect, you finally start to feel understood. Pretending hides you, honesty reveals you. And people can only love what they can see. In life, we all wear masks. The professional mask, the confident mask, the "I'm fine" mask. We hide our fears, our flaws, our uncertainties, thinking vulnerability is weakness. But the truth is, vulnerability is strength in disguise. It's the raw, unfiltered honesty that turns strangers into soulmates, colleagues into partners, and moments into meaning. When Emma finally stopped acting like everything was under control and started showing her real self, her insecurities, her awkwardness, her honesty. Ryan didn't turn away. He leaned closer. Because connection doesn't grow in perfection. It grows in truth. People aren't moved by your image, they're moved by your authenticity. Pretending demands energy. Honesty gives energy. When you're pretending, you're constantly performing, editing your words, filtering your emotions, trying to control how others see you. It's exhausting. It's living life like a stage play instead of a real story. But the moment you decide to be genuine, life becomes lighter. Relationships become deeper. Work becomes more fulfilling. You don't have to remember your script. You just have to be yourself. Emma and Ryan's fake marriage became real the moment they stopped acting like a couple and started feeling like one. Because connection doesn't come from matching stories. It comes from matching souls. In every relationship, personal or professional, authenticity is the magnet that draws people together. When you are real, you give others permission to be real too. You become safe to trust, easy to understand, and impossible to forget. Think about the people who made the biggest impact in your life. Were they perfect? No. They were honest. They showed their cracks, their doubts, their humanity. And that's what made them memorable. Emma thought Ryan was cold and unapproachable, but when he opened up about his fears and insecurities, she saw the man behind the title. And that's when connection happened. The same applies to us. The moment we let people see who we truly are, we stop performing and start relating. So stop pretending to be what you think others want. Stop hiding behind perfection. Speak with honesty, act with sincerity, and show your truth even when it trembles. Because connection doesn't grow in disguise, it blooms in authenticity. When you drop the mask, you allow real love, real friendship, and real understanding to find you. Pretending might protect you from judgment, but it also keeps you from joy. Let go of the performance. Be seen, be real, be you. Because connection, true, lasting, powerful connection, only grows where pretending ends. Honesty is not just about telling the truth. It's about living it. It's easy to wear a smile when you're breaking inside, to act like you have it all together when you don't, to say what others want to hear instead of what your heart needs to say. But real courage isn't about being fearless. It's about being real in a world that rewards fakery. Emma's story shows this clearly. She told one small lie out of fear, a lie that grew into a web of deception. And for a while it seemed easier to keep pretending. But the more she faked it, the heavier it became. The more she hid her truth, the more she lost herself, until honesty became not just the brave choice, but the only choice. Because pretending may protect your image, but it destroys your peace. Being honest takes strength because it comes with risk. The risk of rejection, the risk of misunderstanding, the risk of standing alone. But that's what makes honesty powerful. It's not the easy path, it's the courageous one. It demands that you confront your reflection without excuses. It means admitting when you're wrong, when you're scared, when you don't have the answers. Emma learned that pretending to be someone you're not might impress people for a moment, but honesty earns respect forever. The truth might shake things up, but it also sets things straight. Every great transformation, in love, in career, in life, begins when someone dares to be honest about who they are and what they feel. Honesty is the foundation of trust, and without trust, nothing stands. Relationships built on lies are like glass towers, beautiful from afar, fragile up close. They look strong until the first storm hits. When Emma finally stopped pretending, when she allowed her vulnerability to show, her connection with Ryan transformed. What started as a fiction became something real because honesty replaced performance. That's the paradox of truth. It can shatter illusions but build intimacy. It can end false peace but create authentic happiness. When you choose honesty, you might lose some people, but you'll find the ones meant to stay. Honesty is also freedom. The freedom to stop hiding, to stop performing, to stop living for other people's approval. When you're honest with yourself, you stop living in fear of exposure. You stop waiting for the lie to collapse. You stop apologizing for being human. In a world obsessed with appearances, perfect photos, perfect careers, perfect lives, honesty is rebellion. It's saying, I'm not perfect, but I'm real. I don't have everything figured out, but I'm trying. That kind of honesty inspires others. It gives people permission to drop their own masks and breathe again. The bravest people aren't the loudest. They're the ones who quietly choose truth over comfort, integrity over image, peace over performance. So be brave enough to be honest, not just with others, but with yourself. Speak the truth even when your voice shakes. Live authentically even when it's inconvenient. Because pretending may keep you safe, but honesty will make you strong. Emma discovered that the hardest person to be honest with was herself. To admit that she was afraid, that she wanted love, that she was tired of pretending. But once she embraced that truth, she found power, peace, and purpose. That's what honesty gives you. A life that's yours. No scripts, no roles, just truth. And there's nothing braver than that.